Now to breaking news in the trial of a former Fort Hood soldier accused of murdering a Good Samaritan. He's just been found guilty. Our David Goins is the only reporter in the courtroom. He joins us now live with this breaking details. David?
Hey there, Izzy. This verdict came down about 10 minutes ago from the judge who heard this case. And really, this murder case came down to whether or not this Army soldier who had already admitted to shooting his wife and even pled guilty to shooting his wife had a reasonable defense to shooting somebody he did not know who tried to intervene in the situation. Now, Ricci Bradden was on active duty when he showed up unannounced at his wife's job at a Arlington Walgreens back in May of 2016. The couple got into an argument outside, and again, in court, he admitted to shooting her. Bradden had already pled to that charge, but his defense attorney says, as it relates to the murder charge, he was confronted by an armed citizen, a 35-year-old former Marine and father of three, that Bradden had a right to defend himself because he did not know that TJ Antell, who he was or why he was there. On the stand in his own defense late this afternoon, which was a move many did not expect, Bradden talked about getting out of his truck, armed himself, and then confronting TJ Antell, who was also pointing a gun at him.
I don't know what it was, but something distracted him and made him turn his head for a split second. And when he turned his head, I did what I had to do. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
On cross-examination, prosecutors said that many of the statements that Bradden offered that day about the fact that he'd just gone to that Walgreens to perhaps divorce his wife or let her know they wanted to end the relationship were not consistent with testimony that he had offered earlier in the trial. And that also that TJ Antell knew that the woman had already been shot in the store, and that is why he came to not only her defense, but also to protect his family and anyone else who was in that Walgreens. It's an act that Tarrant County prosecutors said is the definition of a Good Samaritan. And the judge agreed, finding Ricci Bradden guilty of murder. The sentencing trial for this case will begin tomorrow morning. We expect to hear perhaps from TJ Antell's widow, who took the stand earlier, after it wraps up. Live in Fort Worth, David Goins, Channel 8 News.